Setelah waktu itu Andrew Garfield diinterview sama Entertainment Tonight, sekarang giliran Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield dan Tobey Maquire yang akhirnya muncul bersama-sama dan diinterview sama Peter Hammond dari media Deadline. Dimana mereka di sini ngebahas pengalaman mereka soal film Spiderman No Way Home. Dari tahap mereka diajak sama Amy Pascal dan Kevin Feige, sampai perasaan mereka tentang film ini akhirnya menampilkan 3 Spider-Man dari 3 generasi. Nah, ini juga menjadi kemunculan pertama dari Tobey Maquire setelah film No Way Home dirilis. So, apa aja yang mereka bahas? Di sini gue bakal kasih videonya plus dengan subtitlenya biar kalian ngerti apa aja yang mereka omongin. Tapi sebelum gue mulai, buat kalian yang belum subscribe, please klik tombol subscribe di bawah supaya kamu gak ketinggalan video-video pembahasan dari kita. Klik loncengnya juga biar kamu dapat notifikasinya tiap ada video baru. Kalau sudah, welcome to Breakdown Channel Universe. Bareng gue Rian, let's explore these universes.
To say right off the bat, did any of you have any idea that this movie would have the impact that it's had around the globe, beyond all expectations, I think, even for Spider-Man? I mean, Tom, did you, having just done the third one now?
I mean, I think I always knew that this film would be loved around the world. I didn't think it would be quite as massive as it has been. You know, one of my favorite things to do at the minute is to go online and watch fans' reactions to you guys coming in. That one scene in particular, I don't think I could ever have imagined it being so well received by everyone. So no, I mean, I guess I had an idea that people would love this movie, but in no way, shape or form could I have thought it was going to be as big as it has been. And it's been, only the last couple of weeks if I sort of really come back to reality and come home and started to face real world problems. And it feels like we've been on some sort of really weird dream. It feels really strange.
Experience, Tobey and Andrew, I have to ask you though, how did you get involved? I mean, when they came to you, I can't imagine, Tobey, they said, oh, we want you to do Spider-Man again. What was it?
Yeah, I went and had a meeting with Amy and Kevin, Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige, and had talked about, they sort of just, teased it. I think Amy was like, we'd love to talk to you and you know what this is about. And I was like, okay, sure. Let's have a chat. And
I think with Amy, you're like, no, I don't, Amy, no.
Yeah, no, I know.
What?
Maybe you could just give me a little bit of information, but I don't know. I gotta say I was intrigued immediately. Like in that conversation, the intention, the kind of love and celebration of these movies and what it meant, I think, to Amy and Kevin was apparent. And to me, when artists or people who are steering the creative process have a kind of authentic, genuine intent of celebration and love, it just was so apparent in both of them that I don't know, I just wanted to join that. And I'm a big fan of Tom and those movies and Andrew, so it was definitely intriguing, but yes, I was also going, well, what are we gonna do? And that was a bit mysterious. I did appreciate what was shared, but it was really about getting together with these people and revisiting, what was part of my history and getting a chance to like come together. And there are personal things too, which are kind of resolutions or a way to revisit and I'm not quite sure how to put it. It's just to get back into that, and I don't want to say like close the chapter, but revisit and have certain resolutions, and just join in this like loving creative spirit.
When I saw this movie, I wasn't expecting a third one on that, and amazing to see you back in this costume and this franchise. So for you, what was it like going back?
Well, I was just waiting to see if Tobey was going to do it, and if Tobey was going to do it, and I was like, well, I have no choice, you know. I follow Tobey to the ends of the earth. I'm a lemming for Tobey. But that was sincerely a big part of it, you know, when I was approached about it, and again, in a similar way to what Tobey was saying, it was like, oh, the intention feels very pure here. It actually feels like a great creative idea and a great creative story. It wasn't like they were just asking us to come and say hi and then leave again, but actually have our presence being in service to Tom, you know, being in service to Tom's journey and where he is as Peter Parker, and how I love the destiny feeling of the multiverse expanding in this film, and actually that without Tobey's Peter and Andrew's Peter being present for Tom's Peter at this very moment, he may not become the Peter Parker that he's supposed to become. I love that there's and that maybe he would have lost his girlfriend, and that maybe he would have gone down a darker path if Tobey hadn't have given him that kind of mentorship moment, that better angel kind of moment. So it was those things. I get chills thinking about it even now. So for me, it was like, and it's the same kind of judgment call with any script or any film. It's like, is this a story worth telling, and do I want to work with these people? And it was a big double kind of capitalized yes, and then it exceeded my expectations, because the way that Tom and Zendaya and Jacob are as a trio is just like a kind of magical heaven kind of friendship, and then so welcoming of me and Tobey into the gang. And then the way that Tom works with John Watts and Kevin and Amy, it's like, it's very open, it's very free. And so Tobey and I felt not only welcomed, but actually given lots of permission to play and to kind of find our way into being of service to Tom's story in this way. And it was just a kind of joyful few weeks that we all got to spend together, which it could have been an absolute, not like you kind of think, well, getting 3 Spider-Men together could go one of 2 ways. And I think it's a testament to these guys that it went the way that it went, which was a brotherhood, which is just beautiful.
Tom, for you, working with them, I'm wondering, did you have any kind of rehearsal time to get used to this idea, or did you just jump in and you're all in your Spider-Man motif here?
Yeah, it was daunting. It was very daunting, because we were a long way into shooting before you guys showed up. You know, we were maybe 3 months into principal photography, and you know, the date of the other Spider-Mans are coming was etched on my calendar, and I was getting closer and closer and closer. And you know, the closer and closer I got, the more and more nervous I was. And then as soon as I met you guys in Atlanta, I realized I had nothing to be nervous about. But at our first rehearsal, I had asked Jacob and Zendaya to come with me, to just kind of be there as like my support system. Like, I'm gonna go meet these guys, I'm really nervous about it, we have to read the scene, and I don't know how this is gonna go, because we're all playing the same character and we all have to bring our own kind of heart and soul into this, and you know, it means a lot to them and it means a lot to me. Does it mean the same? So Jacob and Zendaya were there on that first day. But I think it was really strange and almost a little unfair how they had us put the suits on and then just jump around in front of a camera together. Like, that was one of the most bizarre experiences of my life. And again, Jacob and Zendaya were there for that, to support me. But it was an amazing experience. And from day one, it was a roller coaster that I didn't want to get off. And it was a lot of fun. And like you said, Andrew, like, it was so collaborative, it was so playful. You know, from you cracking Tobey's back to you coming up with the idea of pointing at us, like, it was all stuff that we came up with on the day. And it was just a lot of fun to be able to play with 3 guys in Spider-Man suits. It was a strange experience, but one that I won't ever forget.
Yeah, you know, and how did you guys keep this a secret so well? I know there's all that pressure on you, but I mean, it really was a well-kept secret, and that's a hard thing to do in the age of social media and the internet and speculation. And did they threaten you with anything here, or what?
You had the worst of it though, Andrew, because you were doing press for months. Yeah, like
out there, man. I'm like out there, and everyone's like, "Why is Andrew Garfield on a press tour just denying Spider-Man?" Like these other two films. I'm like, dudes, like look at this stuff. So yeah, no, I definitely think I had the hardest time.
you had the worst part of it, yeah.
Thrust into the world just like coincided with having to lie for the sake of that audience reaction, I think. So, and I know, I equate it to like, when you're organizing a surprise birthday party for someone that you love, and they keep saying, mate, just tell me I hate surprises. I hate surprises, but deep down they will love the surprise. I justified my ethical kind of like unethical lying behavior. I call it fibbing more than lying.
Right.
I kind of enjoyed it. It was quite fun, and it felt like a game of that game Werewolf or Mafia, where you're the werewolf and you have to convince everyone that you're not. So I kind of like turned it into a little bit of a game for myself. I don't know, and it did result in this kind of like, even though there were all these leaks and all this stuff happening, I think like there was enough doubt in everyone's mind going, oh God, what if it isn't? What if they don't show up? And then, so when we did, it kind of gave them that little bit of icing on top of an already incredibly deep, like I watched the movie with Tobey for the first time and I was in pieces. Like, this is a deep movie. This isn't just fan service, which, it partially is, but like, this is a movie that is about a coming of age, like an acceptance of loss, acceptance of death, taking responsibility for your gifts, and I was torn open by the journey that Tom went on, and that he was it was just like having to split with his girlfriend and his best friend and sacrifice that in order. It's classic Peter Parker, but it felt totally fresh and totally reimagined, like his origin, like Tom's origin story was happening in his third movie rather than his first. Like, there's something so profound. So the film, I feel, stands alone without me and Tobey showing up. I hope we enhance it, but like, I think John and Tom have made just something actually that is exceptionally moving, especially for young people. I think it's a beautiful film.
Yeah, Tom, it is highly emotional. You have those close-ups of you, with Aunt May, and then beyond, and the whole coda. If you haven't seen the movie, hold your ears, because that ending is really touching, and it's unlike what we've seen before in the Spider-Man universe. So to play that must have been emotional too, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, it was emotional. There definitely was a sense for me as an actor that this was the last time that I could potentially don the suit. So a lot of that emotion came from the act of saying goodbye, which is one of the biggest themes throughout this film. So, thankfully I was really able to draw on my own experience and my own feelings in those moments. But this film also felt like a huge celebration. This movie really is a celebration of 3 generations of cinema. So at times we would be getting into these scenes that were incredibly emotional, that, they're very taxing. And I was so happy to be there that I had to go at it a different way and kind of go, wow, look at my life. Look what's happened to me. I'm working with Tobey Maquire and Andrew Garfield, and we're telling this story. And I would get emotional at kind of how proud I was of the situation that we were in, and that what we were doing, and that I really believed in what we were doing. So yeah, it was tough, but anything hard is worthwhile. And I was happy to kind of really push myself and to make this film, more emotional than superhero films have been in the past. But yeah, so a lot of it was, I was drawing on my own kind of feelings as we went along.
Yeah, Tobey, this feels like a culmination. In fact, I did a little interview with Amy Pascal, and she described it that way. She said this movie is a culmination of 20 years, what began with you and your 3, and now going full circle here. Is that the way you look at it too when you looked at this, that this is like the end of one thing, maybe the beginning of another somehow, but the end here of what you started?
Well, I'll say I remember being on set, and it was, I believe, our last day, Andrew, and it was really amazing. And I had the awareness of this, the 20 years of history, but looking at Amy and Kevin and realizing that they've been there through all the different iterations and it was really powerful. Just personally, it was really powerful. It was powerful for me to be working with Andrew and Tom, and powerful in a legitimately moving, emotional way. And then to witness Amy and Kevin and consider their journeys through all the films, it was really impactful. And yeah, I was just grateful every day. It was such a rich experience. And as the guys have touched on, the kind of sharing of something and the brotherhood of it, it was just so rich, emotional. And I don't know, I'm not like sitting there conceptually thinking about that all the time, but I would have moments where that kind of stuff would hit me. You know, day to day, it was just a beautiful kind of unfolding of this story and these relationships. So I was more just like in that on the day to day, but I'd have these like reflection moments, which were quite powerful and elegantly woven ultimately, because it's actually, you're thinking about taking 20 years of history and revisiting that, and how do you balance all of these things. And each of our kind of series of films have, you know, the characters we're playing the same character, but they're also unique, and the way those films and characters evolved in those films are unique. And then to bring all of that together, including you know, all of our super villains and all of that, it was pretty wild to witness the immensity of all of this history coming together and being put into what Andrew is saying is this, you know, standalone worthwhile story. And I too just wanted to say with the coda of the movie, I was really touched emotionally, but also I just thought it had such a sweet elegance to it. Like, that was so amazing. And I agree in terms of the origin story and the kind of coming of age, or you know, Tom, your character stepping into this different kind of maturity and responsibility, and all done with this like really sweet, sad, elegant touch. It was just beautiful.
You know, for this, Tom, you in particular, you might go on and do more Spider-Man. I'm going to try to get a scoop here. What's going to happen?
The truth is, the truthful answer, and I've done a whole press tour where all I do is lie. Yeah. The truth is, and you're not going to like the truth, I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that question. This film for me was as special as an experience could ever be. Sharing the screen with these guys, you know, playing Spider-Man can be quite an alienating experience, because, you know, we're the only three blokes who have done it. So to share that with you two, and for it to have been such a wonderful experience, of which I have such amazing memories, I don't know, there's part of me that feels like it's the perfect time to jump off the building and swing off into the sunset and let the next lucky young kid come in to don the suit. I know I love this character, and I know that I am not ready to say goodbye, but if it is time for me to say goodbye, then I will do so proudly, knowing that I have achieved everything I wanted to with this character, and sharing it with these boys will be forever one of the most special experiences of my career. So if it's time, it's time. If it's not, it's not. But at the moment, I don't know.
So itu dia interview dari 3 Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, dan Tom Holland. Nah, menurut kalian kira-kira mereka bakal muncul lagi nggak nih di project-project Marvel berikutnya? Kalau menurut gue, karena animo masyarakat, animo fans yang begitu tinggi, kayaknya sih bakal ada nih. Entah salah satu di antara mereka atau mungkin dua-duanya juga bakal dipanggil lagi di next projectnya di MCU. Mungkin di In the Multiverse of Madness? Ya, tulis aja lah di kolom komentar di bawah ya. Kira-kira bakal diajak gak nih mereka? So thank you udah nonton video ini. Jangan lupa subscribe sebagai bentuk dukungan kalian buat channel ini. Follow TikTok dan Instagram breakdown.universe biar kalian gak ketinggalan update dan berita terkini. Jangan lupa lakukan satu kebaikan hari ini, seperti membersihkan atau jangan ngotor-ngotorin bioskop pada saat kalian nonton. So dimanapun kalian nonton, jangan lupa nonton tanpa nyampah. See you in the next video. Gue Rian, until next time, keep exploring the multiverse.